So is he American or Sokovian?
I mean, I guess she's not the only one that loves the accents. Welcome to another episode of ZZ Talk Reviews as we review WandaVision, episode 5. This one, well, this is not going to be spoiler free at all. I don't know how else we can do this without going into spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched the episode, pause, go watch it, come back, and then watch the rest of our episode. Like, share, and subscribe. All right. So this is obviously the aftermath of episode 4, in which they kind of laid out what had happened in the first 3 episodes, with Monica coming back from the blip and then being sucked in and becoming Geraldine and then being spat back up. So the twins are here. The episode opens with them, crying, and then Wanda and Vision trying to take care of them before a big, age jump. But before all that happened, Agnes came in to help, and she's being funny and all that stuff. But then the first big eerie moment of the episode happened, which is when she was like, "You want me to take that from the top?" And then Vision was like, "What? What's she talking about?" And then Wanda is like shocked too, like, "Why are you asking me that question?" And then she's like, "You want me to take it again from the top?" And then, but then Wanda tried to blow it up to Vision, but Vision was very suspicious of the whole thing. He's been suspicious since the whole conversation with Herb when he was cutting when he's trying to trim the hedges and he cut into the wall. So that was the first big like eerie moment, and then obviously the twins had an age jump to 5-year-olds, and then we had the intro, the Marvel theme and all that stuff. It was a really fun way to start the episode. Anything to add before we go further into the episode?
So obviously we moved on from 70s sitcoms to now 80s sitcoms. So the intro was very much Growing Pains and Family Ties kind of thing, where they had the I don't know if those were real life photos of the actual actors, the way they always did it with Growing Pains, where the intro had their photos.
I don't think Paul Bettany was a small robot as a baby.
Good point.
But
Good point.
But it did look like them, right? Especially Elizabeth Olsen. It looked like a younger Elizabeth Olsen. We know what the Olsen twins looked like when they were kids.
So it was probably them, and then they just still did it. They were just still tying into the Vision thing. So it was still with it. So they were doing the same things that they did back in the days, but they're still keeping it true to the actual show itself.
Yeah.
And then so the one thing that I noticed that I guess I hadn't really noticed before was how anytime there's an error in the show, right, where there's the breaking of the fourth wall, the laugh track completely goes away.
Yeah.
And I didn't really notice it before. I noticed it this time when Agnes was over there. Should I do that again? Where it stops, because then, so I have a feeling that the laugh track is also Wanda. That's obviously that's Wanda, right? That wouldn't be part of the normal thing. So that was just an interesting factoid that I noticed, that the laugh track stops.
Funny things. I heard somewhere that episode 1 was filmed in front of a live audience to give it like that feel. But I have a hard time believing the other episodes were filmed in front of a live audience, because, or at least like parts of it were filmed in front of a live audience. Just from, especially the way the camera tracks, and also certain things. I mean, we know Marvel is big on keeping things a secret, keeping things under wraps. Mark Ruffalo got in trouble many times because he can't keep his mouth shut about spoilers. So I would have a hard time believing that they would have audiences in on like these really.
Oh no, I don't get the feeling at all that they have an actual real live audience in any of these episodes. But the first one, it would make sense. There was no spoilers really in the first episode.
Up until like the very end of it, and even then, it wasn't really spoilery.
So
it's just like it tells you that something's going on.
Yeah. So no, man. Keep doing the the follow.
All right, cool. So then, unlike the first 3 episodes, now it's more of a, we spent some time in Westview or in WandaVision, and we spent some time in like outside of Westview, right? Because you see what's going on with the sword fellas, and I think the roles were pretty much laid out early in this episode, as far as like the director of Sword being more of the aggressor, thinking Wanda is a terrorist, whereas Jimmy Woo is painting her as like, you know, misunderstood, or she was a bad person until she gained the trust of the Avengers. Yeah,
Jimmy Woo, played by Randall Park.
Randall Park. Yeah, I must have said Daniel Park like 3 times in the last episode. So it's Randall Park. And if you see during our review last week, I actually did put the name in post edits. So yeah, so he was saying that no, she gained the trust and all that stuff. But then the director of Sword kept laying out examples of when she's been bad. By the way, I'm from Nigeria, and I really hate the way they pronounce Lagos. They keep saying Lagos, and they've been saying it since Captain America Civil War. So it's Lagos. Anyway.
America, buddy. We say it how we say it. Okay.
Well, no, that's BS. So anyway, so that happened, and it goes back into the show. The kids find a dog that they're washing in the sink. Agnes comes in with
exactly what they need.
With exactly what they need. That's exactly how Vision framed it. There's Agnes at our door with exactly what we need, which reinforces that notion that Agnes isn't like the other townies. She's special in some way, and I know we're gonna find out. We're gonna get there. Good.
Well, I was gonna say right before that, also, Vision was at his office, and they got a quote email, which the email was basically a breakdown of what's going on in Westview. You know, with the, you know, it's basic. I think it was a military memo. No,
it's from Sword. Yeah.
Yeah, from Sword, and they're reading it, and then they're acting all serious, and then they start laughing like it was a joke or something like that. And then then his coworker, which I forgot the name of the guy,
Norm.
He was like,
It's
you know,
Norm.
hey, respond. You're the office funny guy. You know, reply. And then like Vision uses his powers, and this is his first time really using his powers, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
He uses his powers, zaps his head, and then the guy starts talking about how I'm in incredible pain, which Monica touched on that at the very beginning of the episode, where she stated, all I felt is grief. Right?
Yes.
Leads into the idea that we kind of figured out last week, which is like, this is Wanda's way of coping with her post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, but it's like bleeding into everyone else's psyche.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Overwhelming grief that she's feeling.
Which Vision brings back up when they go back and he's starting to question Wanda again, be like, what's going on here? He was like, you are controlling all this. These people are in pain. Like, right. They told me you're keeping them in pain, right? And then, well, does this happen before or after Wanda goes to after they put bring the drone in? So afterwards, after all this happens, where, you know, Agnes brought the like you said, she brought the doghouse, and it's looking like there's something way different about this one. She is responding directly to whatever it is. I don't know if it's what they need or what Wanda needs.
I think it's what Wanda needs.
Yeah.
Well, before we get away from that scene with Norm, I wanted to say I wasn't sure at first whether the email was the people of Sword directly trying to like reach Vision because they saw Vision was near a computer. Maybe we can reach him, or maybe it was an intercepted email like going between governments.
I think it's because it's probably on the same radio wavelengths as the show itself, and that's how that ended up going there. I don't sense that was because they didn't speak on it back outside of Westview. They didn't speak on it, so
that they were trying to contact him. All right, so it wasn't like when Jimmy was trying to contact Wanda on the radio.
Yeah,
last time
sounding like Chris Evans.
Sounded like Chris Evans, yeah. So so that happens, and then the thing with the dog dying happens. I'm not laughing that a dog died. I'm laughing about Vision's line about it's not often that you get a dog and it dies in the same day. So that stuff happened, but I think this is all before or after the they send in the drone that's an 80s style
It's actually
drone.
in between. So first, Agnes brings the doghouse. They do the scene in the house, and then it's when they bring in the drone, and then Wanda comes out of Westview and tells them basically, "Hey, leave me the F alone."
Right. Because that was after the scene where she tells the boys that dad's at work, and the boys are like, it's Saturday, and she's like, no, it's Monday. Um, yeah, she can't control their perception of what's going on with time, which is weird. She can't control their ability to sleep and all that stuff. So
And actually, they have an interesting conversation about the twins, right? Because remember, Monica says that's her. No, those are all real. They're
yeah,
real. They're Wanda's. Which, how would she have made them?
yeah. No, I mean that's a good point. But like everything there is tangible. It's like it's not some illusion. It's like you can actually touch everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she's having a conversation with them, saying that, dad needs some space, but family is forever. There's some other things that she put in there, like, oh, that's
Which
your
this
brother,
is the
that's your
first
brother.
time they're sensing trouble in paradise
Yeah,
between
yeah.
Wanda and Vision.
So she was like, that's your brother, that's your brother. And then they asked her, do you have a brother? And she was like, yes, he's very far away. I was surprised she didn't say that he's dead, but I guess maybe she didn't think kids understood the concept of death.
Yeah.
I think this is also prior to the
I would
dog
think it's
dying.
also because this whole entire world is her denying death.
No,
Her,
no,
I
because
feel like it is her in being in denial of accepting the death of Vision. I
yeah,
just
but she's long since accepted the death of her brother, though. I don't, So I mean,
yeah, but Monica mentioning his death caused her to also exit her out of Westview. So I don't know. There seems to be something there, which we'll touch on in a bit.
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to that point. But so anyway, that's when they I don't know if it was a knock on the door or something led them to go outside where they saw the drone, try to contact her, and then the military guys are like, "Oh, attack or shooter," which I think that's what you were texting me about when you were like,
The
the military
whole
goes, yeah,
imbecile military person jumping the gun and trying to eliminate. It's been done so many times, especially in MCU, which I'm like, at this point, don't you think the military in the MCU world would realize we're usually 99% wrong about these superheroes? So maybe we want, we're going to take our time and
yeah. I agree. It's definitely an overdone trope in a lot of movies, a lot of
but it's
superhero
formulaic, right?
movies.
It's a formula, and I feel like it's
Yeah,
still a formula they needed to follow,
no,
or they
but this
felt they needed
isn't.
to follow.
No, this isn't even just like an MCU formula. This is a superhero movie
Yeah,
formula.
that's what I'm saying.
It
Like,
happened with it happened in Man of Steel too, where they're like, we don't know this guy, we don't trust him.
so let's kill
Let's
him.
attack. Yeah. Um, I it, I kind of get it in a sense because I think Captain America showed that showed what can happen if you don't rein in these heroes or these heroes who think that they can go rogue and all that stuff, which is weird for the Boy Scout to be the one to take them down the road of being rogue.
Mhm.
But Wanda was part of that Boy Scout crew, and I kind of get the idea that hey, superheroes cause a lot of destruction, and he laid it out just like General Ross did in Civil War about the explosion in Lagos and all the other stuff she's done. So I can see why he thought she was a threat. I still agree with you that it is an overused trope. One that came out with the drone, I was legit shocked that she actually came out of Westview, and man, Elizabeth Olsen is just killing it with the because it's not like a muhaha bad guy type of thing. It's like, look, I'm just trying to get through my stuff. You guys need to stop messing with me. That's the kind of emotion she evokes, and she just like she showed how powerful she was, right? Taking
It is her, and this isn't negative about grief. I'm not trying to say anything bad about grief, but this is her descent into madness caused by grief, right?
yeah,
It's like because there are people who like it happens, like people grieve and they become manic. Manic doesn't necessarily mean they're evil. It just means that they become manic because they're having issues to cope with it, right? Because like you said, a few episodes back or last episode, her boyfriend got killed. She disappeared. She came back, and then she had to fight. She had to fight the battle to save the entire universe.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like, and then you find out it's 5 years later, and you find out, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
and this is another thing that we've sort of been making fun of, like in memes and stuff. But when you really think about it, it's actually kind of bad. Is when she goes to Thanos and she says that you took everything from me, and he was like, I don't even know who you are. Yeah, it's like to her, this is like the worst thing possible, and this guy is just like, and you are, you're some side character, So it's like that's probably compounded that too. One part we did skip. Okay, so okay, let me not go back for a second. When she came out of Westview and she met this guy, she just showed how powerful she was with being able to remotely mind control all those people to train to point their guns at the director. Remember in Age of Ultron, she basically had to be like near you and to like
her powers have grown.
Yeah, she's doing it from afar. And the thing I was going to go back to is when they were basically doing what I call the power scaling conversation. It's a popular thing they do in anime a lot, where they use exposition to talk about a character's power sets, because this character is going to have some sort of fight coming in like the next few episodes or so, and they want to establish for the audience how much more powerful this character is than so and so that what's happening on the screen makes sense. And the way they did it was by saying that what she's doing with Westview is far greater than anything we've seen her do before. And then someone, I think it was Monica, that said, well, she almost defeated Thanos by herself before he rained down when he rained down the bombs. But I was thinking about it after the episode. I went upstairs and started making breakfast. I was thinking about it. If Monica was the one that said that, how does Monica know that? Monica had just been blipped back, just like Wanda. Was someone filming the battle against Thanos?
So that's a little bit of a continuity error.
Either that or
well, no. Because remember, it had been 3 weeks since when she got since she went to Sword, so I'm pretty sure she got the breakdown.
Someone debriefed everyone.
Briefed her on it, and then also I'm pretty sure there's in this point in time there's a Wikipedia page talking about the.
I would love to see someone debriefing like a newspaper, like, hey, so first of all, Cap caught Mjolnir, and then
Michael Pena's character.
That'd be brilliant.
So, like, there was this big thing, right? And it happened,
That would be brilliant. Yeah, to have Michael Pena do that. Another Ant-Man character next to Jim. So anyway, so they had the power scaling conversation. So it's to remind all of us that, hey, Wanda is really powerful, and then she shows, right? Because they say in movies and TV shows, don't tell, show. Oh, show, don't tell. And she showed it, and I was like, oof. I got chills. I was like, yes, this is what I've been wanting to see from the show. So anyway, so she gets back in. Vision is obviously very wary of her because he's had that conversation with Norm. Very similar to something that Martian Manhunter did in the Arrowverse to like get people's memories back, but different show. So now they're having the conversation, and Wanda, Vision is like, you can't control me, and then she's like, can't I? And then theme song and the credits are rolling, and then Vision's like, no, like this conversation is not done. The episode doesn't just end, and he's like, he didn't say that, but that's basically what he alluded to. And they kept talking and kept talking. They went into the living room. That whole thing was so eerie, so like Black Mirror-ish. And then the episode ends with the knock at the door. Wanda's like, that's not me doing it. And then he's like, I want to believe you, but I'll be ignoring statistics. And then at the door, it's Pietro. Hence our intro to the episode.
Yeah, because it wasn't MCU actor Aaron Johnson. It was Quicksilver from the X-Men series.
Yes. From Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
Yeah, Evan Peters. Who, by the way, I've always loved Evan Peters. I don't know if anybody ever watched Never Back Down. I loved him in that movie. Evan Peters
Never Back Down. Oh yeah.
Evan Peters is one of my favorite actors. Like low key, like yo, I just anytime he's in something, he's always hilarious.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna get this answer
Uh-huh.
because they've been kind of the MCU. You know, Kevin Feige has been a little bit mum about how they're gonna start introducing X-Men into the series. So I wonder if this is gonna be because this is part of obviously post the Infinity Saga. It's about different universes and different altered timelines. So he won't know. Man, I'm not gonna really go into that because I want to watch that happen. But that was a nice surprise because honestly, you know who I thought it was actually at first?
Uh-huh.
I actually thought it was Magneto because of the gray hair. And I'm thinking, oh, it's his dad.
No,
because Magneto is her father.
No, well, not in the MCU.
Not
Not
in
as
the
far as
MCU,
we
but we
know.
also don't know who her father is in the MCU. They never really spoke on it.
They did. They
Oh,
said
they
that,
had them in Age of Ultron. That's right. But you know what? They could have. They always be like, "Oh no, that was my adopted father."
No, they said that their parents died when they were 10. They even explained in this episode that they were bombed in '99 by. Well, they didn't say a Stark bomb, but it was a Stark bomb, which is why they hated Tony Stark.
The people who raised her and they called father died when they were 10. Doesn't necessarily mean their actual father.
I feel like that would be a very convoluted thing to add now into the MCU. I don't think they're gonna go the route of making them Magneto's kids in this one, just because they've gone so far away from that. Because I don't think at the time they even thought they would have the rights to the X-Men, so they went away from that. No, as soon as I saw his hair, I knew it was Quicksilver. I didn't know it was gonna be Evan Peters as Quicksilver. And I love how they wove it into the concept of the show with Darcy's line. Did she recast Pietro? That's brilliant. That's so good because now you can do that and it doesn't have to be a thing, right? It can just be like, well, it's a TV motif, so I guess you just got recast. That was brilliant. And then, like you said at the beginning, he has an American accent now, just like she has an American accent. I think he is different from everyone else in that I don't think Wanda created him. I don't think Wanda brought him back from the dead.
No, remember they said that we have to get somebody who. Wait, didn't Monica touch on that when she says we have to get somebody who can go in there?
No, she was talking about the drone.
I don't know. That might have been a double,
because Darcy
second way of doing it.
No, Darcy was. She didn't know anything about it. She's
like, no, Darcy's not the one that said that. Monica's the one that said do we have a way to get? And then Monica's the one that answered it by starting doing the drone.
Right, but she was in the room with Darcy when she said that. I would think.
I get that, but
Monica would send Pietro in without letting anyone else know she was doing that.
So she realized that the director of S.W.O.R.D. is a jackass, and she probably does have to do stuff on the back end.
I don't know. I don't think this has anything to do with S.W.O.R.D. at all. I think this is an outside force.
I don't think it has anything to do with S.W.O.R.D. either. I think it might have to do with Monica though.
Monica is S.W.O.R.D. though. How would Monica find Pietro and then put him in there?
Monica knows about knows all about the in-game battle. Like they can. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's my prediction. You predict, sir. Well, then what? You tell me what's going on.
Some other entity. Well, whoever Agnes is working with, because Agnes is clearly not like the other townies. She's not S.W.O.R.D. So whomever she's working with maybe has something to do with Quicksilver's arrival in this. Either way, I'm really excited to see where this goes. And you know what? Remember last week I was like, it was a good episode, but there's something missing for me there. I watched someone else talk about episode 4, and what they said when I heard it, I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. They said that they're having trouble believing that the MCU can deliver on this mystery, right? Like there's this big mystery. Can you deliver it in a satisfying way? And episode 4 left me feeling like, I don't know. Episode 5 left me feeling like, yes, they can. I was really impressed with this episode. Easily my favorite of the season. But before we wrap up with our scores, anything else to
add? To the review or to the score?
Anything we missed in the recap? Because we're gonna do the score next. But anything we missed in the
I
recent
can't think
score?
of anything that we did. Only thing is that now we know the name of Kat Denning's character, which is Darcy Lewis, because we were struggling to come up with that name,
Yeah.
even though we had literally just seen the show and we have the interwebs that we could easily look it up, but we just didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think also when we're recording and trying to look at the internet, like slows things down. So we just call them the wrong names and fill it in afterwards. So
Yeah.
all right. So I already know my score. I want to hear your take on the episode. What would you score it and why?
So I'd give the episode an actual, despite the fact that I couldn't stand. I got him bombing her, trying to bomb. That was just, this shit's been done. So it kind of like, I was like, ugh, kind of almost took me out of the episode. I was like, oh, really? We're going to go with this crap? Like, we could have gone a different direction, but I get it. We have to move the story along. So even that aside, I'd still give the episode a nice, honestly, like a 7.75. I still like 4 more than I liked 5. I will tell you, though, the acting from Paul Bettany and
Yes.
and
Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen, their acting gets a 9.5.
Yeah.
Like they can send this one, especially Paul Bettany. Actually, I'll adjust it. I don't want to give a 10 just because I don't want to say it's a perfect one, just in case there's another one that I think is better. But I'll give Elizabeth Olsen a 9. I'll give Paul Bettany a 9.5 because I thought, killed it. And also the way he's acting is making me think there might be a battle between him and Wanda.
Yeah.
Like there might end up being a battle between him and Wanda. And it'll probably be, him saying, you got to let me go. And then them fighting. And then, her finally letting him go. So that's what I'm kind of sensing. But the acting, man, from them two was A1 in this episode. They should submit these for
Emmy nominations.
For Emmy nominations. These are really good episodes.
I wouldn't be
really
against
good.
that at all. I mean, since the first episode, I've been saying Paul Bettany is like top of his game, but Elizabeth Olsen, especially with the end of episode 3 and then everything since, she's like really shown up. I'd give them equal scores on acting just because she's like really shown up lately. I wasn't as mad about the whole trying to bomb her thing, only because it did force the next scene, which was that she came out and had that conversation with them. I am so happy with that scene, with the fact that she came out and she talked to them, and she basically was like, I have the bigger gun. That was like that kind of moment. It was I really love that scene. I think she killed it. For me, I give this episode an 8.5. My favorite of the season so far. And I hope it keeps going up. This is, I think, the exact halfway point because there's 9 episodes total.
Well, actually, the middle of this episode was the halfway point because this is
right. So
5 out of 9. So
the episode would be the
yeah, because there's 4 before, 4 after. Oh yeah. So that would be the exact middle. Yeah.
One thing that we failed to touch on, we keep forgetting to do this, but there was the ad in the middle about Lagos brand paper towels. For some, I can't remember the tagline now. For when you make a mistake or something like that.
Yeah.
A mess you have to clean up or something like that.
Even your husband's messes you can clean up.
Yeah, referring to when she blew up the thing in Lagos. When she was trying to take the thing up and then it blew up in the building and it killed all those people, it wasn't her mistake. She was trying to save people. But that's what that was referring to. I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
You actually made me see that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen Civil War many times, so that clicked. Yeah. So
gotcha.
Anyway, so I give it an 8.5, 7.75. Yeah.
10.75.
All right, guys. Oh, my camera fell. We're in the twilight zone. All right.
You know what, man? In hindsight, I'm gonna say 8. It has to be an 8 at least. It's honestly like it was a damn good episode. I still like episode 4 a little more. Just because I guess I liked all the surprising, people coming back and all that. But yeah, this is an 8. This is an 8 episode. Because if the other one would be an 8.5, this one would be an 8. It was just so damn good, and it makes me kind of be like, yo, we need to know more. So yes. I can't wait for episode 6.
Yeah. I think for me the only downside of episode 4 was large portions of it felt more like a point of view episode. Like okay, here's the same thing, but from these people's point of view, which was important. We definitely needed episode 4. But this moved the story forward in earnest.
Well, it's funny because you
and
know what? If you think about the titles, touch on that. Because remember,
yes.
the episode 4's title was "We Interrupt This Program,"
Oh yeah, I have them in front of me. Yeah.
and
We
then
interrupt
the
this
other
movie.
one, this one was on a very special episode.
Yes. Yeah. And special it was. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. It happened
Jesus.
again.
How
Okay.
about I do it? Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching our review of WandaVision episode 5. We'll have the episode 6 when it comes out, and at the bottom, you give us your ratings, give us your responses, your comments on what you thought of this episode, and hopefully the next time Zino will figure out we'll stop bitch slapping his camera.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.